Hello everyone. So we are back actually with the character we just did last time. I'm gonna check real quick if I can see myself. Yeah. How do I do this? Okay. Yeah, it looks fine. I can drag my picture here. So how are you doing today, guys? We're going to continue this alien character jumping off the guard on the space shuttle. So what I'm going to do here, actually, I'm going to show the colors that we did last time. And this is just the corridor. No characters. And when I'm looking at it, I feel like it's not really like metal looking, right? It lacks this metallic effect that it needs to have. So I feel like maybe now we can add some more like color grades and other effects because it's looks too clean, too cartoony to me, I guess, in this sense. So first thing we're going to do, I'll probably go and check which color we used, and maybe I'll just make it grayish a little bit, right? So I go here, and I want to make it less colorful, like this. So now it's okay. Now it's more gray. Maybe it's too gray. So maybe maybe we go back and do a little bit something in the middle. Yeah. So because this color part is separate, I can do this. Okay. Actually, it looks better now, right? What do you think? Still can't connect to YouTube. Well, I'm gonna upload this later to my YouTube channel, so you're gonna see it there. So if you guys want to, you can always watch it on YouTube, or you can watch it live on Twitch, because I can do it on Twitch, but I cannot do it on YouTube for some reason. So yeah, should be all right. Let me know, guys. Let me know. It looks fine. It looks alright. Maybe last time music was too loud. Maybe this time I'm gonna make it a little bit quieter. And also, fun fact, fun story from the last stream. On the last stream, I actually used royalty-free classic music. However, it's not being claimed on YouTube, but it was claimed on Twitch. So this time I'm using the different music. I'm using playlist from Stream Beats, and we're gonna see if that's gonna work or not. But enough with that. I think it's kind of look nice. Right now. I like the change that we did. It's now more like a space shuttle grayish, not so distractive, right? And I might add some shadows so I won't forget it later, right? I want to add some shadows. I'm gonna pick black, and I'm gonna go and add another layer here. Maybe make my brush a little fatter. I'm still using the same brush. Maybe that's not the best idea, but that's just the way I do it, and maybe I'll change it later on. But that's right now the way I'm doing it. And I'm gonna change the opacity right away, because it's kind of easier to see when it's more, when it's less thick, something like that, right? I don't want to make it too detailed because we're gonna blur it later. We're gonna blur it. It's not gonna be too blurry though, but we're gonna blur it a little bit. So this area is kind of look like for air, like air compressions or something like that. And I'm gonna add some more like shadows underneath. I need to like warm up a little bit. Drawing is also like a workout. You need to warm up a little bit. So I'm doing just like quick loose lines here, but I'm gonna change it a little bit later. I kind of feel like we should make it like this, right? It's kind of looks a little better. And now I'm gonna also this area, right? This area is kind of all over the place. It shouldn't be like too obvious. So when I'm too lazy, and right now I feel like I need to, you know, get my energy back, when I have that feeling, what I'm usually doing is I'm just like loosely adding shadows or just any color, and later with the eraser I'm gonna delete some of those lines that I did just now. Not completely. You know what you know the point, right? I zoom in sometimes too much. I know it looks kind of strange on the stream. You know, it's fine. It's alright. Sight. Sight, mate. Oh. Quite stupid, ain't it? So that's this side. I will also maybe later add a shadow for the character jumping. I think that's might be a nice idea. We're gonna do that a little bit later. And now I'm gonna take the eraser and I'm gonna like erase some lines that I feel like maybe it's not clean enough. Sometimes just a little bit too much, right? So that's what I'm doing now. Yeah, most of them are fine. It's like it kind of looks not clean when you're doing it, but when you finished it, it doesn't look that distractive, right? It's somewhere there and it's like doesn't really bothering you. So, you know, it's fine to leave something like that. Yeah. So, and maybe some more shadow. So this area I still can't really understand. Like, how is it supposed to be? Is this side should be black or the other side should be black? Let me see. Let me see it. It's actually helping the fact that I can look this side. That I can look at. No, that's not how it's supposed to be. So I'm thinking this area maybe, right? Yeah, could be. And if we go ahead and color this, I'm gonna erase some little small details at here and there, right? And it looks kind of fine. Still not quite there, but you can leave it like that. It doesn't really matter. So let's see how much we can do in a couple hours today. Maybe even more. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll stick around for longer. It really depends on. So which way? I feel like it should follow this way. So I'm gonna do like. Okay, didn't work. Like a small shadow here. So you feel like. So I feel like I want to make it a little brighter. In this area we're gonna color and we're gonna erase some details again of the went cross the line, right? They crossed the line. Can't let them do that here. I am the law here. So it's kind of like the corridor goes further away. That's the goal here. Sometimes I zoom out to really see what's going on. Okay, so I feel like the background is alright. We can kind of mix it and forget about it. And then we look at the characters, right? Without the background. Yeah, like this. So, which color? I feel like we should really use. We should really use maybe we should really use red for guards. I feel like that's a good color for bad guys. They're not gonna be like bad guys. They just like doing their job, guarding the ship from this space pirate. And I'm gonna use this area again, but I'm just gonna move this wheel to red side, right? So it's gonna be like a mix between gray and red. And that's exactly what I need. Maybe I even move a little bit towards red, right? Just a little bit. And we don't want to make them like too too colorful. Yeah, I don't want to make his body red. I'm gonna make his arms red, so it's like his armor is red, but his body is gonna be like plain gray. And the reason for that, actually, we can kind of do this. So you can go ahead and make it a reference, and you go back, and now you can do this. So see, it's because we kind of combined those areas, and I want to make his gloves also like a metallic color. So when we're gonna go for metallic color, it's gonna be more grayish. So his arm's gonna be like, okay. So see, his arm is not connected there. So maybe here, probably not here. Okay. Well, it's all right. I can erase some parts. I see the part that we can erase later. But just just to get the idea. So I really like the color what we picked here. You think I should go to like just chatting area of Twitch? Nah, it's fine. I think it's fine. I will focus on people who are gonna watch it on YouTube later on. I still can't stream on YouTube for some strange reason. Like I did a lot of live streams on my second channel, and it's about video games. It's not art channel, and it's also in Russian language. So here we are just drawing, right? Not gonna worry about his leg. We're gonna color it later. I think it's looking good. You know what I like about coloring? When you do coloring, you just kind of said it yesterday. It's like a therapy, right? You just it's what to do. You're just filling in, and feeling good about filling in the everything that it's already drawn, right? Everything that's already drawn, you're just filling in. So what about this color? Kind of needed to be more like metallic. It's really difficult to make it like, well, okay, let's go like that. I think he's kind of too colorful now. Maybe we just okay. It's you know what? Let's make him just brightly uh, gray, just like a metal box. Yeah. How about that? Just like a real metallic color. I'm gonna add some highlights so he will look shiny, you know, and that's way he's gonna look more like the armor or like a robot. He's not a robot, but it gonna look like armor. like a medieval knight. I really like medieval knights. So, not sure about this area. What we're doing here? Right, like that. I have a brush that is too thick. Okay, maybe we just do this. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't. I haven't done that before. Okay, and here is gonna be like a little bit like this. You know, it's alright. Doesn't have to be perfect. And also, maybe his mask is the same color. Oh, that's a good idea. Don't put too many color. It's usually 3 colors are. It's like the best. The best option. Just 3 colors. No more than that. It's gonna look fine. So let me just quickly go ahead and check if you can actually go and see me, because I don't want to stream for just, you know, again, and here is the good part. You don't really have to even stream. Like, this is what I do. This is what I do. I just draw something, right? Because I have like the idea I want to put in. And then I think about, oh, maybe when I'm streaming, okay, so that's so many people actually. So many people actually using almost the same name as me on Twitch. Okay, so yeah, I can see. And what's funny, it doesn't show me that there are viewers here. So yeah, maybe there are no viewers. So that's the plain color for this guy. Don't want to make him too bright. Don't want to make him too colorful. And the reason for that is I don't want to drag your attention to him, because he's like just the prop. He's not the main character. Main character, this guy, right? So you don't want the other character to be big and colorful. You really want him to be just there, right? He's just there, not for your attention. So now we're gonna maybe we can color his face a little bit, and I actually want to make a shade of red here. I want to make it a more like pinkish, because I think they're gonna be more like crab people, you know, from the South Park crabs, like Mr. Krabs. They're gonna be really pink inside. Well, not the inside, not the outside. So yeah, something like that. So it's really good because we have a shade of gray and shade of red, pink. No more than that. Don't need more than that. So now we're gonna go ahead and turn him off, and now we're gonna make another layer, and we're gonna make this guy a reference layer. And because I want to make this guy like a ninja, basically thief ninja, we're gonna make his costume gray. It's gonna be like black, but to make it visible for you where are the shadows are and everything else, I'm gonna use gray. But you know, intellectually, you and I, we know it's kind of black, but it's gonna look gray. And you know, don't worry about that. That's gonna be his just first costume, because he's like a character, a superhero character, right? And I want to make his hood a little bit different shade. So I'm gonna do that in a moment. And I already feel like already feeling like it looks nice, right? Kind of look nice. And oh, so quickly almost done his outfit. But there's more. Wait, there's more. I'm gonna go ahead and make it more dark, and I'm gonna put the darkest part here. So this is inside of his the costume, right? I forgot the name of that thing. Don't worry. And the hood is a little bit more black, more dark as well. And his cape, oh, I mean his belt is gonna be a little bit different. Now the important part. Which shade should we pick? I feel like because the enemy is red, he should be somewhere between green and blue. What do you think? Like maybe somewhere here, right? I don't know. Like if we go here, look at that. What do you think? Like if we go here, it's kind of nice. I feel like it's too dark. Let's make it brighter. Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's kind of like friendly purple. Let's see how it looks on his face. Okay. Okay, maybe it's not. Okay, we can do this. We can just hold and drop the color grading element. So what do you think? What do you think about his face being purple? What do you think about that? Is it purple even? It looks kind of purple. What do you think? Or should he be a little bit blue? Like, I feel like he might be blue. Might be blue. So, the good part about this, we can turn off the reference. And here, we can choose any color. Let's say, let's go to the wheel here, and we'll go a little bit this way, right? And maybe make it also a little bit brighter, even more brighter. I really want him to be like a crystal clear. So what about this color, huh? Is it better? It's kind of nice. It's kind of like a flower, right? I feel like this is still too dark. It's gonna go this way and maybe go more blue. Maybe even like this blue. It's gonna be like cyan. Now he looks like a legit crystal, right? It's like ice. Maybe it's too far. Let's go a little bit this way. I don't want him to be too bright. I mean, we can always change things around. So yeah, that's well, actually, now I'm thinking about it, it's kind of fits more like that, right? Kind of fits more natural. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's not the best. Well, let's keep going like that for now. And also the reason that I'm drawing on separate layers here, I'm gonna actually later change it a little bit because I want to have a colored version, you know, exported, and I want the black and white version exported because I'm later going to send it, hopefully, to Image Comics, right? And when I do that, I really want them to see my line art, my color work, and my storytelling, and maybe also the composition, right? Because you might not get the job as the line artist. You might not get the job as a colorist, right? You might not get the job as a storyteller, but then there's one thing you can do, like maybe penciling, right? Or maybe editing, or maybe it's there are so many different areas here. You really need to show all things you can do. And this is like a big dream of mine to work for it's not for, but more like work with Todd McFarlane, right? You know that's like I told that many times, like he's my hero, and I really want to work at Image Comics, like not even Marvel. Like if Marvel called me, I'd say probably not, but I mean if they call me now, I would agree. But if they would call me when I will be with Image Comics. Oh. Okay. So I'm just checking. Doesn't really let me to see the chat. I hope it's fine. I don't see any messages in the chat. So if there are any messages and I'm just missing them, I apologize. I don't think we are getting any. So it's funny, I see so many people actually doing just chatting, but not too many people doing art. Like, is it even a category? It's 8,000 people watching, like, and the language for some reason is not English. So yeah, if I go here, what is this? Okay, that's a little strange. But yeah, there are people here. It's not like a huge category. I really need to go to just chatting next time. Yeah, I want to try to do it next time. Well, you know, it's not about it's fine. It's all right. Like, I'm just curious, can I find my uh can I find myself here? I cannot. But there are so many nice artists here. I really like the monsters. People are drawing monsters. But anyway, yeah. Well, we are here somewhere among the. Yeah, I don't see myself. It's like I need to scroll all the way down, right? Scroll all the way down. So many people drawing girls, mostly naked. Okay. That's a little bit interesting. Yeah, I cannot be bothered scroll all the way down. So I'll just go back to my channel. That's not my channel. Sorry. That was strange. Okay. Yeah, I apologize for that. Apologize for that. Just wanted to see, but yeah, I can't really see it. That's crazy. So there are no messages in the chat. Okay. That's the only thing I wanted to check. Sorry. That's why I clicked. I think we just lost a viewer because of that. But you guys feel free to text me, to write me here in the chat. You probably know my Instagram, where you can find my finished drawings. You know my original YouTube channel. Maybe I'm gonna use it a little bit later. Maybe I'll ask people to go there, to go from there. So there's an interesting part here. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and choose different color. Great. Maybe just to make it darker, right? It's darker. And make it eyebrows darker. Okay, it's too thick. Gonna make it a little bit thinner. And his eyes are gonna be maybe the same color as his eyebrows. I don't know, man. Is it too dark? It's kind of too dark, yeah. It's kind of too dark. So, but it's not too dark for. What was the other thing I was coloring? Oh, that's his arm also. Oh, I forgot about this area. Okay. So good at splitting those parts of his hand. Can I just do this? No. Okay. There is something else we want to add, right? So first, let's just finish some small details here. Yeah, man, I'm gonna use this color. I'm gonna use this color. Maybe his eyes are gonna be like yellowish, right? No, that's strange. See this harmony, right? If we go here, okay, that's the color. Okay, now it makes sense. Wow, that's so cool. I like this color. It's like toxic green, like a Dead by Daylight player. Typical Dead by Daylight player. Toxic green. Sorry, that's a joke. I'm just joking around. Yeah, I guess YouTube is more more like a platform I can work on. Like I did a lot of progress actually on YouTube. I feel like there's so much more possibilities like here on Twitch. Kind of different. Oh, also we can use this for. Oh man, this is gonna be a little bit too bright. Yeah, it's gonna be too bright. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this one. So that's the colors. So it's not really something that we can use, huh? I'm gonna make it more like dark red. Yeah, it's gonna be his belt. And his main belt is gonna be like this probably, yeah. We don't want to make it too many colors. For now, at least. We're gonna add more colors later. And I am curious if you go to YouTube. Oh, man. You guys let me know if I'm like if you're actually watching me and like what are you doing, man? Like what are you doing, right? No, I can't even find my channel. Okay, there it is. No, it's not streaming. Well, you know, it's fine. So this is gonna be my thumbnail. I can actually do that, but I'm not taking a picture. Maybe later. Maybe I'll just post it later as my process. So this is flat coloring, and I think we're done with flat coloring. I also want to go back actually to the character and use black. So, okay, there's one more thing I want to do. See these little details? See those little details? We're gonna go ahead and draw and color all of them. Because sometimes there are spots that the color didn't get into. Sorry. And now we're gonna go to this layer, pick black, and I want to make this thing a little bit. Oh, see, the making line art is so different. Coloring is really just a therapy. Coloring is really a therapy. So maybe next time we just like I kind of want to finish my comic, but also I feel like we might at some point draw some YouTubers. Like I draw PewDiePie at some point. You guys can check it out on my Instagram page. Even did a comic about old and new PewDiePie. So I'm not sure about his belt. So far it's just a belt, but I kind of want to make it cool, but I don't know how. So maybe something like this. Don't want to make it too big of a deal. Just don't want to make it too much attention. Drag too much attention to his belt. And this is next part is my favorite part. And I'm not going to combine layers because I really want to all of those things to be separate so I can export them separately. So if we're gonna turn everything on, as flat colors. That's what we're getting. Okay, there's still problems, right? The thing I forgot here, things that I forgot here, of course, is white. And it's really easy to forget white. That's the color you're gonna pick for teeth, right? What's wrong, man? That's too much white. Okay. Why the eyes white as well? That's so strange. Right? This is the color area. Okay, that's strange. Yeah, okay. So now it's okay, there's one area. It's now white here. So we're gonna delete white. Okay. So that's how it's gonna look like in the flat coloring, right? That's the flat coloring. And now there's two things we're going to add. There are two things we are going to add. First, we're gonna add shadows. And shadows, that's the most fun part. At least for me, that's what makes it look dynamic, right? That's what makes it look dynamic. And we're gonna add shadows everywhere. First, we're gonna think about how it's gonna look on the floor. So I feel like if we go on the separate layer for the background here. So what is this? Oh, this is shadows. So this is shadows for the background. Okay, we already have that. So we're gonna go here and think, okay, how exactly are we going to drop the shadow? So I want to make it like the light goes from the top. So, and I don't want to make it too difficult, too complicated. So I'll just, drop shadows like here-ish, somewhere here. And it's not gonna be like very detailed. It's not gonna be very detailed, but it's gonna make the job done, right? I'm gonna drag the color drop to the max. So now it's kind of makes more sense, but I'm also gonna do this because the character is jumping as well, and I want to make sure that like, okay, that's the floor part, and I want to put a little shadow from his leg here, so you can tell, okay, this is his shadow, right? Yeah, I think that's fine. We don't really need to focus on that much. We're still not gonna focus on anything that is on the bottom. And later, I'm gonna add some. Oh, I forgot the word. So this we can make the opacity. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Wow. You see? You see? Wow. I don't know the word. Sorry. But anyway, you get the point. So now we're going to do the same for every character. Like here, I'm gonna turn this guy off. And for the guard, we're gonna go ahead and also add some. So first, I want to make sure it's the same percent. So it's gonna be 40, right? It's gonna be 40. You don't want to make shadows different for each area. So first, of course, I'm coloring this area, and then like I'm gonna color his fingers here because he's kind of like twisting them to the inside, right? And it's alright sometimes to go too much, because again, this part, nobody actually like watching closely to this character. And I can open a comic book or even like the animated shows, and it's been like I had that many times. I can watch, I can look at some art, and I can tell, well, this is wrong. But got still millions of views, and like this is very popular. Okay, that's not gonna work here. Need to do it like that. So it sometimes doesn't really matter as long as you get the message across and you get your audience and you know what you're doing. So I don't know. I might be wrong, but I feel like the quality of an art is not always something that people would look for, unfortunately. I guess. I'd say the most important part is the storytelling. Because like even if you're watching a movie, right? Even there's like a crazy good camera work. The operator, right? The guy with the camera like being doing crazy good job. You're not gonna notice that if the movie is boring, right? Not gonna see that. Man, it's too thick. Too thick. I need to make it thinner. That's strange. It's not. Ah, okay, here. Okay, the eraser is not thick enough. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna add 1-2 lines on the side, just to make it more like roundish. So in general, that what helps something to look more 3D. You add shadows on the side. So this means that the object is like curling down like on the side. So you can do that. And here, because the light goes from the top, I kind of want to add shadow here on the bottom. It's not going to be a huge shadow. Sometimes people would add like a huge shadow, and it doesn't make sense, but it just doesn't leave an empty space, because right now here it's kind of look like an empty space. If we add the leg, it's still kind of like an empty space, but I feel like we don't have to get too many details here, because it's sometimes getting too dirty. And maybe it's not a bad thing, it's just the matter of style. It's just like I prefer it like that. So also his face, that's his important part, because he's actually under his leg. He kind of have this like shadow here. That's for sure, right? You don't want to forget things like that. You don't want to forget that. Okay, now his arm or leg, right behind, like above him, over his head. So I need to add this to make sure that there's the impact, right? So people see the effect of that. So yeah, and also his arm here, that's for sure is going to be dark, and I kind of want to make it whole, and then I'm gonna make it like this, and I'm gonna also fill this with shadow. And also his arm here, right? It's all under the leg, so it's all dark. That's pretty cool. It's pretty easy sometimes. You don't have to think about, oh, but like how shadow work on this particular area, right? So maybe you just do this. When I'm thinking about this, I feel like his leg will be also casting shadow here, right? But then I should put the... Yeah, maybe that's even a better idea. So we're gonna cast the shadow here, right? And maybe because of that, I'm gonna add a shadow here. So I'm gonna like fill all his, like all that space in shadow. And I want to make sure you can tell that this is shadow from his body. Can you tell? I think, yeah. I think that works. Okay, so this guy feels like got the job done. Feels like it's fine. Then again, it's not that big of a deal, right? It's just the prop he's not really there. And then we're going to create an extra layer. That's the most fun part, right? This is the main character shadowing. After that, we're gonna add some highlights like white. So maybe I'll add some white later. Man, gotta tell you, we are pretty fast today, pretty quick. I'm even like, I'm feeling like maybe I'll just slow down a little bit. Otherwise, I feel like I'm rushing it, and I don't want to do that. Okay, so for this area, we're also going to make the opacity 40%, right? And what are we going to do? We're gonna start with I want to start with this area, with his I don't know, what's the name of this? Sleeve? That's right. Sleeves? Yeah. To make it dark inside, to show that this is like going in. Boom. And then I'm gonna do some like highlights here, and also under his chin, because you know that's the shadow that his head is casting is gonna be right here. And also to make it his head a little bit more rounded, I'm gonna add some shadow, but because he is so crystal, the shadow on his face will be more blocky, right? I don't want to make it too many shadows on his face, because you know sometimes it's more natural even to have shadow, but characters they don't have it. And the reason for that is because you don't want to hide his face too much. There are some characters that works, you know, they work good with shadows. And you know who I'm talking about. Batman, right? Batman looks good with shadows. Not every character looks great with shadows. So you really need to think where to put it, how to make it work. So I'm gonna add some shadows here to the spikes. I'm gonna delete the extra oh my god, I can't speak. I'm gonna delete some extra lines later. I'm going to correct some of my shadowing here. I know it's not how it's supposed to be sometimes, but yeah, with Batman, and that's the best example I can think of, because he's so like dark and grim, and you really want to add a lot of shadows on his face, on his body. It kind of works well together, right? Not like some other characters. So I also want to do this. Don't want to make it too much. Like it kind of feels like overdoing it if I do so. I don't want to overdo it. There are some elements I wanted to add. Okay, so I don't want to overdo it. So okay, and now we're gonna go ahead and clean those lines here, right? Okay. Kind of looks fine now. I mean, with his head form, it's kind of difficult to make it natural, because he's not really a human. And you don't really want too much shadowing. We can add shadow here, that would be so natural. But sometimes it looks wrong. Sometimes it just looks wrong. But, you know, I think it looks fine now. I kind of feel like it looks fine. So I also want to add some shadows here, because you know your eye, they are also, the iris is often under the shadow from your Oh, I don't know the name of that part of the eye. Okay. So we're gonna go to this arm and we're gonna put a big shadow here. Just, because this arm is not important, is behind, and you can actually play with the shadow a lot here, right? Because it's a cloth. You kind of want to add some texture on it. But don't overdo it again, because sometimes it just looks wrong, right? You can add some details, but then it just looks wrong. So this is natural because his arm is like in the fist form. So it's of course gonna be a little bit under the shadow. Not gonna put too many shadow here. Because sometimes it's just, again, yeah, it's like behind him. But you kind of can overdo it sometimes. Yeah, I think is alright. And then we're gonna go ahead and add some shadows here again. I'm gonna make it thicker. And sometimes I just continue the lines, right? Or just create new lines. Like here. And yeah, don't worry, some of those lines I'm gonna erase later. So it doesn't have to be perfect, it's fine. And shadow is the interesting part. There are some people, and I actually feel like it's a great idea. They're actually making shadows with the not flat lines. They make it more like subtle. Like I can also try to do that, and sometimes I do that. So I'm gonna show you. Sometimes you just go to here and you do shadows like this, right? And you do shadows like this. And sometimes it looks better. Like for example, right, like this. And you just make it like really, really like fading away. And sometimes it looks better. I know. But in my style, for me personally, right now, the way I'm doing it, oh my god, that's not the one I wanted to pick. The way I'm doing it, I'm just gonna use this one. And I guess sometimes for fun, I like to do the other brush. I think that's like a cool idea. But it's not always. I think it's still cool when you can use the other ways. So I'm gonna add some shadows on the bottom here. Actually, I feel like we might even put all his bottom part in the shadow, like all this. Like, because before that I thought, okay, maybe I'll add some shadow for his clothes coming from the belt. But now I feel like, yeah, he's twisting his body, his arm going forward, his legs going a little bit back. So I feel like, yeah, we can do that. We can add some shadow here like that. And it's, again, it doesn't have to be too realistic. It's just gonna look cool, right? That's the thing. And again, the story is what's important here. People don't really care that much if it's like drawn super well, or like when I was younger and I like was reading many comic books, not too many, but I never really cared if they were drawn nice or not. I mostly care about the story, and I actually like can't even think of a single moment when I thought, wow, that looks well drawn. No, like I'm sorry, I never had those moments, and I feel that's unfortunate. Maybe because there's so many people put so many hours in the art, and I never actually like noticed that. But that's just how it is. That's just how it is. People are not appreciating things. And now, because of that, I'm trying to appreciate things more. Because when I'm watching a movie, right, or I'm reading a book, what mostly? Okay, let's take a movie. I don't know. It's with my eyes. Let's take a movie. You're watching a movie, and you didn't like the movie. Okay, it was boring. The plot was kind of stupid, kind of silly. But then it's like, yeah, but the movie itself was well filmed, well choreographed, and you're thinking like, there's so many people actually worked on that movie, and you feel like it's not fair to say it's a bad movie because yeah, there were maybe some bad actors, but there were good actors too, and there were some strange decisions, but not all of them were terrible, right? It's like, you know what I'm saying. There are so many people involved, so you feel like it's kind of strange to to mark the whole film as a failure just because the writer is a failure. Like he made a mistake. I mean, he's not a failure. He'll probably be able to write a good movie later when he'll be more experienced and things like that. So, you know what I'm saying? There's so many people involved, the audio quality, the prop, people who created the prop for the stage. So now I'm thinking how the knee is gonna look like. So I need more like black here like that. So that's what I'm thinking. You can't really blame the whole movie just because that you didn't like the script. And like I understand people do that in many instances, but it's just maybe something that I'm thinking like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. Like I recently watched an animation Japanese cartoon, and I didn't like the plot, but the art in it was like amazing. And I feel like, yeah, maybe it's not that well thought and written. So he kind of have the muscle here, right? So he's gonna have like a big muscle here because like they all have muscular legs. Not well. What was I saying? Oh, so yeah, the plot was not that great, but the art was amazing, and I was mostly looking at art in that animation. Unfortunately, I guess for the screenwriter because he was not doing a good job. Yeah, I mean it's fine. See, the leg is a little bit strange, but then it's still all right. So you're gonna have his muscle here as well. And yeah, and this side is gonna be a little bit like that. So with the shadow is not always clear because we can never see shadow just being plain, flat. And yeah. So this leg is kind of going forward, right? It's kind of going forward. Oh, we also have like these details here. I kind of want to do that. It's kind of gonna look a little bit strange, probably. This definitely should be under the shadow. I don't know why. it's not. Kind of feeling like maybe it's gonna be like some areas are under the shadow, some areas are not. Something like that. Whoop. Okay. Something like that. And here, I don't really want to add a lot of shadows. I'm gonna add a little bit because I know that he's, like, his leg, as I said before, is kind of going forward. Kind of going forward. So I just want to add some little shadow, like, lines. Just to show maybe the movement. Right? It's not gonna be like realistic. It's not going to be realistic, but that's just to show the texture as well. So something like that. I don't really know how to properly add shadow to crystals, and I don't want to make him too crystallic, right? Yeah, of course he's like has his leg, has his hands, face, of course, but not gonna be that detailed. Anyway, so that's something like this. And now the other cool part is his cape. I'm gonna add like raw shadow here, and I'm not gonna add like long shadow because the up, it's going up, right? And because it's going up, it's going to face the light, so this side will be lighted. So here I'm going to make like this lines, and the reason I'm doing that because I'm going to this one is then I'm going to do this, maybe a little bit smaller, maybe even like this. It kind of looks janky a little bit. Sometimes I just delete it like at all, but overall it's not like it doesn't look that bad. So something like that. And sometimes I add 1 or 2 lines that, again, not realistically, but I just make them so they follow the darkest line, like here, right? So I'm gonna go here because it's kind of on my way. So something like that I'll do. Now I'm gonna delete it here, erase it. Boom, boom, boom. And I feel like this area is kind of empty. So I'm gonna do that. I think it's not, again, it's not realistic, but I think it kind of looks cool. So again, here, another side, I want to make his arm a little bit, the hand, sorry, a little bit in shadow, not too much, because I know it shouldn't be, because you know it's like facing your direction, and we know that there is light going from the top. So we're just gonna, you know, again, do some small lines here and there, not too much, just to you know, empathize that he made it of crystals, right? And that's the only reason we're doing that here. And also because his thumb is not detailed enough. That's gonna be a good part. Good reason. Okay, so maybe also next time I'm gonna draw somebody's popular. Yeah, what do you guys think? Should we draw like Witcher or, I don't know, Batman? Actually, I'm thinking The Witcher is kind of like Batman, right? His personality kind of reminds me. a little bit of Batman. Not too much, because Batman, you know, is a little bit different guy. There's so many versions. Some people make him like more relaxed guy, more detective based. Some people make him like a crazy vigilante killer. So yeah. Oh, yeah, I feel like there should be also this line here, right? Because this side should be like going forward a little bit. What do you think? Okay, give me a moment. Okay, I'm gonna just check how he looks, like, because I have a different pictures of him, so I just wanna, you know, think and compare, like, how should we look, how should we make him exactly. So also, you know, there are some crystals here. I'm gonna add some shadow here, just a little bit, again, to empathize the texture. And this is something you might not want to do, because, you know, because there's so many like cracks in the crystal. It might take you a while, so maybe just don't do it. But I'm gonna do it for effect purposes, because this is like the first time we actually seeing the character. Because in the comic that I'm going to make, that I'm making actually right now with you guys, this is like the second page. And because we just seeing him for the first time, basically, like, he's gonna come out from the page, he's gonna go and jump over the guard here. So you want to really make him look big and cool. So maybe sometimes it's just like, okay, I'll add some extra details here, but next page is gonna be a little bit like toned down. Don't really put that much details in it. But it's always good to make a good first expression. If impression, sorry. If you look at Spawn first issue, right? There is a big splash page where you see Spawn standing on the building with his cape going forward because of the wind, and you know, there's just cloth all over the screen. It looks so cool, right? And the reason for that, because that's the first issue, and that's basically author telling you, okay, that's the Spawn, that's the character, and you know, if you want to, you can spend some time with this character going forward later on, right? So the same here, same thing here, because we just never saw this guy before. Now we're thinking, okay, so who is this guy? What's his story? What's his personality and things like that? And if we like it, we can like go forward with it. So for me, this page is important, because you know, you want to make sure that your viewer know your character. And I think with the shadowing, it's pretty good already. So if we go back and we turn on this guy, so that's basically the frame. That's almost finished page. There are two things I want to add. I want to add some movement. So I'm going to add movement later for the background. It's going to be a little bit distorted. And the last thing, there are two more things actually. I'm going to add more light for the background. And for that, I'm going to use, like, I'm going to cheat a little bit, but it's more like technology. It's not me. So I'm going to use this line. So any of those. So I'm going to, okay. I'm going to check. I'm going to use white. I'm going to turn off the characters because they are on the way. Oh, that's how it looks. That's kind of strange. Oh yeah, that's right, because he has cracks on his body. So I'm gonna add lights here. I don't like this one. I'm gonna use this one probably. Yeah. So now we're gonna add like light coming from the in the room on the back. I'm gonna. Okay, that's all. Okay, I feel like there was more details, but okay. So this is the separate layer, and I'm not sure if it's gonna like look good, so that's why I'm using the separate layer. I'm gonna make it like it's coming forward, and that's why casting the light on top of the character's head. So if you look, I'm gonna fix this area real quick. Actually, kind of looks wrong, just a little bit, like a cricket. Yeah, whatever. Well, because the character will cover it, so something like that, right? Kind of looks strange with these details. Okay, so maybe we're gonna do something about it. Maybe we're gonna make it thinner, right? We can always like play around. Maybe move this way. Okay, and if it looks a little bit empty, we just add some more like shadow or effects. I'm gonna add more smoke probably. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go like this. No. Okay, I can never remember this one. Yeah, something like that. This is gonna be a separate layer again. Something like that. And I make it more like fake, just on the background. And I'm gonna do the same but grayish for the separate layer on the foreground, because you know it's like a big spaceship. It's not 100% clean, and there's smoke everywhere sometimes. I should have smoke. I don't remember where it is. There are texture layers here. That's kind of cool. You can make it with the textures. Yeah, something like that maybe. So this is also going to be barely visible, but it's going to be on the background. So because of that, on the foreground you'll mostly see the character. It's just to show that, okay, there are some distractions going on. So this is something I'm going to save. I'm going to add some more details a little bit later. I'm gonna add white details here. So let me go back to my brush. I'm gonna use white, and here I'm going to add some more like highlights. And this is a cool part. See, because he's kind of like made of crystals, he's gonna have his face reflecting the ceiling light, right? This backlight, and it's gonna be very noticeable on his forehead, right? It's kind of like you can actually even sometimes overdo it, but still it's not gonna look bad, right? Something like that. It's kind of look cool, at least the way I see it, right? You can do this, you can do this. You don't have to overdo it, but you can, and I feel like it's still gonna work. We just want to like highlight the fact that he's kind of looks like a robbery, like right now. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Just make it look like crystals. And again, sometimes I look at details like that and I feel like, it doesn't look right. Doesn't look right, but doesn't matter. People still do that, and you still get the idea. Okay, what is that? Oh, that's the highlights, right? So you don't have to worry about that. The people will understand, even if it looks sometimes a little bit off. It's fine, really. So don't worry. And another thing is, I don't really want to make his body parts to be highlighted the same way as his clothes. So I'm gonna pick a different layer for that. Also, I might even use the same brush, however, so maybe it's just too small. Maybe it's just too small. I'm gonna make it bigger. Oh, that's also right. No, maybe I don't want to make it too glowy. So his eyes. Oh, it kind of doesn't even fit his eyes, so I'm not gonna add that. Okay, and now we're going to go to the next layer, and this layer is going to be a little bit smaller, right? And because of that, if we add, see, it's a little bit different. But I also am thinking if I want to use different ink for that, different brush. Maybe this one. See, it's kind of not suitable. So like I don't want to use pencil. Well, let's use a pencil tool. Let's see. So what do you think about pencil? Like it's kind of strangely looking. I don't like that. I'm mostly using inks. Nah. So see, sometimes you're thinking like, okay, what else? Like what? It's either it looks the same or it kind of look worse. At least in my opinion, might be a better ways to do it. Yeah, like if I want to highlight his shoulder, how am I doing that? That's kind of doesn't look like highlights. There's another way to do it. You can just pick the color. You can just pick the color and just go and bright it in, right? So maybe we do that. So maybe we go to the same ink and we just use this color. So because, oh, that's also another thing, right? Oh, first we're gonna delete that. We can just use this color, and when we go ahead and draw, wait, it's supposed to be, okay, yeah, and now we go ahead and make it bright wheel. So it's kind of the same color, but just a little bit brighter. And if we do so, just a little bit, it's kind of good for highlighting. So what we can do is just to highlight it like this, and I'm not gonna worry about black lines here. And the reason for that is I'm just gonna go and put this down, right? I need to put this between black lines and the color layer. So now it looks fine. I'm gonna delete this detail. So if I go ahead and keep this line right here, it kind of looks like it's from the light source above his head, right? And I think that's fine. That works. So this is a little bit scary. You don't want to add it when it's like a part with the shadow, because you don't want to put the light part on pair with the shadow. Something like that would work, right? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna later erase it. Those parts that are like too far, they shouldn't be like here. Oh, I hate when it goes like too far here. This is the difficult part to erase. A little bit annoying, but it's not a big deal. I'm gonna erase here and here. So it looks fine. See, his leg is kind of like you can see, you can tell at least that this is because of the light that above him. So that's pretty cool. I like that at least. So I'll do that for this leg too. And even though it's kind of looks like this leg is shouldn't be in the light area, it kind of look more dynamic that way. At least I feel like that. feel that way. So if we go this, add some more details for the cape. Not too much, because again, you don't want to interfere with the black lines. Otherwise it's gonna look strange. So try to separate light sides from the dark sides. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the shadow. So here we're gonna go ahead and do this, and we're gonna make it a little bit brighter. And again, it's gonna, okay. So we need to go to the separate layer for this guy too. Okay, you know, as long as you have those layers available, it's fine. It really depends on your software. And with this guy, there are not too many things you can do, really. I would just, you know, maybe do this. Yeah, I think that looks kind of... now it's interfering with his cracks. So maybe we just... Oh, you know, I actually got an idea. And maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's even gonna look better. So we just pick the cracks, and we can just move it. Okay, let's pick one at a time. And we just move it. Yeah. Or we just delete them and we redraw them here. It's not too much to draw, right? We go here, and we do like wheel. We want to show that his armor is like, I forgot the word. It's like twisting a little bit. Oh, that's too much. That's too much. Man, it's still too much. Okay, let me see. I just needs to be in pair with this. Like this. No, that's too much. So maybe it's not a good idea. Maybe it's just unnecessary details that we are doing here. But it's still kind of cool, right? Now it kind of looks alright. You can tell that this is his armor that being twisted a little bit here. Folding. That's right. That's the word. Folding. And we go back to other parts of his body, and we'll also just go here and make it brighter. Okay. Again, that's the wrong layer. Go here. Right? Is that the layer? Yeah. Make sure you're on the right layer. You don't want to be on the wrong layer. So you can, you know, go ahead, drop some more details. It's not that like big of a deal here. Even if it's just like, okay, that's whatever, right? Yeah, it's fine. No need to empathize too much on it. I feel like this part looks kind of empty, but maybe we'll think about something later. So for now, it looks almost done. And what I'm going to do later, I'm going to create a second version of this, and then I'm gonna distort the background a little bit. So, like, if I cannot show it to you right now, but I'm gonna select all these layers. So this one, this one, this one, and maybe light. And I'm going to distort it so it's not so detailed. It's gonna look fine. And then you're gonna focus on the main character a little bit more, and the shadow behind will be like deleted as well. So this is this page. We're gonna take a little break, and then we're gonna continue with the second page. So there's that. And thank you guys for joining. I think this page looks almost finished. if there is something that you guys think we need to add. But the way I feel, it's kind of finished, and I feel like it's done. Again, there's a few more details. I cannot really do it right now on the stream, but it's fine. I'll show you the finished version later. And right now we're gonna move to the third page, and stay tuned for that. We're gonna come back in maybe 30-40 minutes. So thank you guys. See you